Hey, this is your boy Dev Watts over at Watts Performance Solutions. Let's talk about why you need an aftermarket ignition system on your Buick Grand National. First reason why is so you can get better spark. With better spark, you can have more boost. With more boost, you can have more fun. Second thing is better coils. These TR6 ignitions come with a really nice coil that you can find from your local parts store, and they're good quality coils. Compared to a factory replacement ignition, these coils that you may get from the local parts store, they won't last long. As you can see right here, this one we've only ran for a couple of minutes and it's already failed. So for our customers, we recommend going with a TR6 ignition. You can find us on our website at wattsperformance.com. And lastly, these boxes have safety parameters set up in them. That way you can have a rev limiter. That way you can see if there's anything going on with your cam phasing. These boxes have everything that you need for your Grand National to not break up under boost. Once you get to 12 pounds of boost, 15 pounds of boost, they start breaking up. You start hearing that da-da-da. And so when it's doing that, you either don't have enough fuel or your ignition ain't putting out the power. Your coil is firing, so the computer is telling this thing to fire. It's taking a spark from right here, going through your spark plug wire down to your spark plug. If that spark is weak, you're not gonna have the correct air fuel ratio that you need to make your car perform. So what we do on every single build to ensure that we have the proper spark is we just go ahead and replace it with a high output aftermarket ignition system. The TR6 ignition, you can find it on our website. We sell this as a package with every other thing that you need. So it's going to come with the coils, it's going to come with the module, and then it's going to come with some wires. You can get the Taylor wires or you can get the MSD wires. I personally prefer the Taylor wires over the MSD wires. They just seem to last a little bit longer to me. So you guys have asked me, what's the number one thing I can do to keep my Grand National running good? I would say have a good fuel system, number one, and number two, have a good ignition system. Most Grand Nationals that come to me, they got this gooey stuff going on. And when you start seeing that, you know you got a bad ignition. These are the ignitions that you get, and if you look closely, this one has even busted. See that? So these ignitions, this is one that you get from the parts store in an emergency, man. And the car will run good for about 30 seconds. And the next thing you know, the ignition is bad again. And then you start getting goo into your connector, and it's just not good. And what most people do, they think that, oh, this unit was just bad, so they go get another one free because it's under warranty. You got unlimited lifetime warranty most of the time if you go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's to go get another ignition. So they'll take this off their car, and then you guys will go get another one to replace it. You put it back on the car, it's doing the same thing. And then you do it again, then you do it again. But these don't work. If you're gonna get another ignition, get an AC Delco one. A lot of times you can get it from Highway Star, so they get an AC Delco coil and AC Delco module. But if you can't get an AC Delco one, just don't do this. We go with a TR6 ignition. So the TR6 ignition has a built-in rev limiter, and it also has a built-in two-step module. So for those who want to race, there's a built-in two-step. The factory computer doesn't have a rev limiter. So you can overspin the motor, you can hurt the motor. But if you got a rev limiter, I like to set it at 6,000 no matter what. At 6,000 RPM, it's gonna start breaking up. And that'll help save a lot of my customers' engine. But it's really simple. Has a built-in two-step. I like to set that at 3,000 for a lot of my clients. And then has a main limiter. I like to set that at 6,000. And then every other one of these settings, if you're not using two-step, all you need to do is turn on mode 4. So make sure mode 4 is up. And then I like to go just one by one to make sure all these other dip switches are pointed down. And then you're ready to go. So once that stuff is set, put your lid back on it. So if you have gotten to this part of the video, probably means you love what you're seeing. And if you love what you're seeing, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button. We got so much good content coming out. So much good content. You got my journey to 1,000 horsepower Grand National. You've got some Grand National secrets that we're about to unveil. And lastly, you got some wonderful technical videos where we're gonna show you the ins and outs on a lot of different installations. And if you need some Grand National parts, check this out. WattsPerformance.com. We started a new LLC called Turbo 6 Parts. And on Turbo 6 Parts, you can find literally anything from brand new parts. You can find good quality used parts, and you can also find some rare hidden gems. So all you got to do is go to wattsperformance.com, click on Turbo 6 Parts at the top, check out all kind of excellent deals from new to used parts. A lot of these parts we're pulling directly off of cars that we're servicing. A lot of these parts, to be honest with you, our cars have gone through many different iterations. So I took my car from a 12-second car and I'm about to hit 8s. So there's a lot of parts that I've just personally taken off my own car that are still in good condition. And then there's a lot of cars that come in here, really good running cars, and we're taking those parts off of those cars and then we're putting them on our website to sell. And one more thing, if you got a Grand National and you need a little direction, we offer consultation services. So go to wattsperformance.com, click connect with us. I don't take phone calls because we're so busy, but if you need something, book an appointment with me. We offer 3 different distinct options by appointment only. See which option fits best for you. You know, if you're ready to schedule maintenance, schedule maintenance. It'll take you to Calendly, and you can book some time on the calendar. And there's just going to be a couple of questions for you to answer, and we'll get connected. So I launched a campaign this year, Big Turbo Energy, and that campaign really set a lot of people on fire to get a big turbo. But I realized how many people weren't ready for a big turbo because they didn't have big fuel and they didn't have big ignition systems. You got to have a good ignition system before you can even think about turning up the boost. So proper fueling, proper spark, that's everything. So in every one of my builds, I start with at a minimum a TR6 ignition. We have run these for years. We have only had excellent results. For 800 bucks or a little bit less, or somewhere around 800 bucks, you can guarantee that you're gonna get good spark to your cylinders. And these coils, I like to use GM parts because they work. So this coil right here comes off of an LS truck, LS based truck. These truck coils work really good and they're easy to find compared to these coils that burn up in a couple minutes. And so these coils are mounted right on top of this module right here. You just want to take your time and tighten each corner. Don't want to over torque it, but just make sure, you got to slow down and make sure this box is getting sealed, because if you don't seal this box, then you'll get corrosion inside of the box. Lifespan, if it works out of the box with no issues, it'll last forever. They're stock coil packs, OEM coil packs from the 80s that's still working good. Coil packs, once they work, you know? So most of the time, when I install this, it's trouble free, and I don't have customers coming back to say, oh, my TR6 stopped working. It either didn't work from the beginning and I have to send it back, which I've had 1 or 2 that just didn't work out for me. And there were small issues like, hey, once I get to 3,000 RPM, the 2-step is activating. So something electronically isn't working within the box. Outside of that, they've been pretty problem free. I'm able to set my 2-step where I want it to be. I'm able to put a good quality coil, and if the coils will go bad before the TR6 will. And if you need to get a stock replacement coil, you can get those off Amazon, to be honest with you. But just get a quality GM coil. You can get them from Summit Racing. You can get them, even get them from your local parts store if you put in that part number. So that's the part number for the coil that you want to use. If you really like to drive your car, it'd be smart to put a TR6 on your car, because with that TR6 on your car, if the coil pack goes bad, you won't be left stranded on the side of the road. You can probably go find another coil at your local parts store. But if you got one of these on your car and your coil go bad, you're just gonna buy another one that ain't gonna work. Like, under no circumstances have I found the ones from the parts store to work. Getting this thing set up for a seamless installation right quick. Put the bracket on here. So tightening up the last few bolts, putting the electrical connector to the TR6 unit. And one tip that I want to definitely share is you don't want to over tighten this. So when I'm putting this tool on here, this 1/4" socket, I just like to hand tighten it. Once it's tightened with my hand, that's tight enough. The key thing is you want to make sure you have a secure ground on the TR6. One place I like to ground it that I found a consistent grounding with is on the bottom of the ignition bracket. That's a really good spot to put the ground on. All I gotta do now is connect the spark plug wires. That's it.